Before we get started, I like to point out this is a bobbin, this is a bobbin case. I'm going to call this a bobbin throughout the entire video, and it's going to bug some of you. Yes, I know it is a bobbin case, but I always call it a bobbin. Don't ask me why. This is a bobbin. This is a bobbin case. So forgive me for calling it a bobbin throughout the entire video. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back. Thought I'd talk to you about my 206 today, and also about showing you how to modify the bobbins on a 206 or a 306 to use regular needles. See a lot of videos on YouTube and people talk about the modified bobbins so you can use your regular needles in these machines, but nobody's ever really showed you what they're talking about or how to do it. Now, I don't recommend you doing this if you're not comfortable. You know, maybe you should go online and find another bobbin. Don't use your original bobbin of your machine. Use another one if you have another one. But for me, I was able to do it easy enough at home. I got a drill press. You could do it with a drill. You could do it with a die grinder. You don't have to do it the way I did it. But I'm going to show you what needs to be done. And then if you guys are comfortable enough, you can tackle it on your own. Before I do that, I'm going to talk to you about my machine a little bit here, and I'm also going to talk about the Ismax website, because this machine is aluminum, and on that website it doesn't say it's aluminum. All the machines made in 1953 with the VIN number starting with a letter E and a J, that's 1953 206, they're only made aluminum in that year, 1953. But the very first run of these in 1953 was in February, and it doesn't say aluminum beside it on the website. So I'm wondering if some were cast and then some were aluminum. I know this is the first production run of the aluminum 206 1953 model, but my VIN number is EH886-206. And that's another cool thing I find out about this machine. Look at that, 206 right in the VIN number. But yeah, this machine's not registered as aluminum on the Ismax website, but it is aluminum, so I don't know if they need to update it or if they need to do a little more research. But this one is a EH VIN number, and it's aluminum. Anyways, enough jibber jabber about that. How about I talk about what's going on with the machine? Decided to give it an oiling and run some stitches, and I could have swore that this machine had a modified bobbin, and it wasn't modified. And one way I could tell is I was running a nice zigzag satin stitch. This is on its widest stitch, and on the back side, no matter what I did, I could not get it to balance. It was always pulling to one side. See this line right here? See this line down here? And then I balanced it out, tried to balance it out, and no matter what it was doing, no matter how much I tried to adjust my bobbin or my upper tension, I kept getting this line. But I also noticed I kept hearing a tick, 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 tick. And I'm going to show you guys that here in a second. And this here, what you're looking at, is my stock bobbin. Excuse me. Or sorry. This is my modified bobbin. The stock bobbin's in the machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, I'm going to flip the machine over, and I'm going to show you how you can tell, because I put a 15 by 1 needle in here, and that was my mistake, because I thought the bobbin was modified. And I'm going to show you how you can tell. So anyways, let me adjust the camera, get a little bit closer, and I'll run the machine, and you can listen to it, and I'll show you the difference. So give me 1 second. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to talk to you about what's going on first. So what's happening is, if you look at your bobbin, you see this arch we have here. What's happening is, when you have your zigzag set to the widest stitch, the needle is coming down and bouncing from one side to the other inside this arch. Now I'm going to show you in the photo here, when the needle comes down to the left side, you can see there's plenty of room between the needle and this arch. But when the needle comes over to the right side, and if you look at the photo here, the needle is striking that arch. So what ends up happening is your thread gets trapped between the bobbin and the end of the needle for a brief second. And no matter how much you adjust your tension, you're always going to be pulling to one side. You see how there's that yellow line going along here? No matter what, I could not get this to balance. No, and this was yellow was my top. But I was just doing this to see what was going on, because I noticed that the line was to one side. It was always to one side. So I noticed I could hear it ticking. So here we go. I'm going to show you a picture of the modified bobbin now. And you can see how much room is between the bobbin case and the needle now on the right side. But listen to this. This is what I could hear. Hear that little tick, 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 tick. Now watch when I put in a modified bobbin. This is my modified bobbin, and now listen. No more ticking. So what's happening now is I have enough clearance between that arch. There's enough clearance between that arch. Okay? So there you go, guys. That's what needs to be done. Now I'm going to take you over to the drill press, and I'm going to show you what I did and how I honed mine out. And then we'll talk a little bit more about that over at the drill. Before I do that, though, you can go online and find bobbins that are squared out. You'll notice you can find them on Amazon and other places where this arch here is squared out, and it actually comes over a little bit further. It's cut out more. And they say they fit the 206. Now those would be a modified bobbin as well. But my problem with those is, I'm going to show you a picture here. You got to look at these the tension springs, okay? So I'm going to show you a picture of the ones that I found online. Now notice the tension spring, where the tension spring is there, okay? Now here is a picture of a stock one. This is mine right here, and you notice I have a hook there pointing at where the tension spring goes. Notice how the tension spring stops at that opening right here. And on the other ones that say they fit the 206, the tension spring stops back here. Now, I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not. So, guys, be careful if you're going to go buy one online that looks like it's a modified one already. Because I'm tempted to do that. But, I mean, I don't want to fork out $50 to have that problem. I get it here and find out it doesn't work because the tension spring is not located all the way to the opening. Okay, so for me, I was like, you know what? I have a 306. If you have a spare bobbin, this is okay to do. But if you don't have a spare bobbin, I would suggest ordering a stock bobbin, because you still can find these ones online with the arch this way, and you'll see the spring is in the same spot. Maybe if you want to order one on Amazon and then modify that one and keep your stock one, that could be an option for you. If you're not comfortable doing this to the original one, these are original Singer ones, but I don't plan on using 206 needles anymore. They're just hard to find, and they're expensive when you do find them, and I want my machines to use all the same needles. It just works better for me. Anyways, enough jibber jabber. Let me take you over to the drill press, and I'll show you how I honed this out, okay? and we'll go from there. Okay guys, here we are at my drill press, and what you're looking at in my drill press is just a cone rasp. Okay, this is like a rasp bit. You can get these in smaller versions that will fit into a Dremel, so if you want to use a Dremel, you can do that. I didn't use this thing. This is just too big. This one's broken. You can see there's a chunk out of it right there. But I use this for honing out holes if I'm trying to oval something. But anyways, you can buy these smaller to fit in your Dremel and do it that way. I chose to use this cone one that I have because it has a nice rounded end. And for me, I just took this like this and slowly worked my way. See the arch here? It's on the right side. I put this where it's visible. Of course, we're in the saw, or I mean, I'm behind the camera, so it's a little harder to see. But I just took this and I honed that out like that. And then I worked it back and forth. I could get that in and out. This thick material, this is thick all the way over there, so you can hone that out. Okay, so that's what I did there. So I honed it out. And then this one here, you can see, still got a good arch. This is the original one. I'll show you a picture here of mine after I honed it out. And you can just see slightly how it's honed out. And you can also see I need to moisturize my hand. It's very dry skin, so ignore that. Ignore the dry skin hand. And if you notice, the arch is a little bit bigger. It's not much, only like 1 millimeter, guys. You don't have to do too much. All right, so there you go. I don't have my drill plugged in right now. I was going to show you. The speed's not fast on here. I have this set to a slow speed. This isn't very sharp neither, so I'm able just to work it nice and slow. Oh, also, once you're done, make sure to wet sand all along this edge here, in here. I just took like 1,000 grit wet sandpaper. Didn't wet it, I just left it dry, and I wrapped it around a dowel bigger than this one. And I just took the wet sandpaper and went around in there like that, cleaned off those edges. Did the same thing in there, just take off any of that burring so it doesn't break your thread. And that's that. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed talking about my 206. If you have any other questions, leave it in the comments, and until next time, stay safe. I'll talk to you again soon.